Hi there, my name is Per Cornwet. Today we are going to look at how to take a photograph of some artwork on an airplane and use that to create a decal using a Cricut maker. On the very far left is a photograph of a P-51 Mustang, and it has this very complex artwork on the rudder up with the horse. Now if you were building a scale model, you would want to duplicate that horse, and so a decal makes a fantastic option. So the photograph from the far left really can't be used for the next couple steps because it's taken too far away. So I took the second photograph here straight on without a flash, and then I cleaned it up and got rid of all the extra colors and other stuff. So I'm part of the Lafayette Escadrille Control Line Club here in St. Louis. On the very far right is the decal that was produced after I had scanned it, after I had converted the photograph into a vector file and then cut the decal. So like I said, this picture up on the upper left is, you need it when you're building and painting the scale model, but it's not good for converting the artwork. The bottom left image, I zoomed in so I had a straight on shot of the artwork. You'd want to take if the artwork is different on the right hand side, you want a picture of the left and the right hand side. And then I touched up the photograph even some more for the next step for the decal, because I didn't want all the other extra colors for the trim tab getting in the way. And there's three basic steps. You're gonna get your Jpeg, clean it up, bring the Jpeg into Inkscape, and then bring that SVG file into the Cricut Design Space, and then cut the decal. This is what I was able to produce after I was done. The upper left is a paint mask. So in other words, it's the same process when it cuts in the Cricut, it scores the line so they're two separate things. If you remove the middle, it becomes a paint mask. If you remove the outside, it becomes a decal. If it becomes a decal, you have to pick the right color, material, and everything else. If it's a mask, you want to use the removable material because you have to paint the object and then peel that up. If you're in the St. Louis area and you fly control line, come join us at Boudreaux Park. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you later. The next portion of the video will show the Inkscape portion and the Design Space portion. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, the first step to convert a Jpeg image into a vector file so we can cut a decal is to import in the Jpeg image, which is a bitmap. So you do a new document, which we blank. We'll have layer 1, and you want to import in file import your Jpeg image. Now it's better to clean up the Jpeg image before you import it so that there's less colors or extraneous information in there, which is what I did with this image here. Now I just selected all of the defaults on the import. I didn't change anything there. Now it brought the image in. Now I had some extra information up in here in the original photograph that I touched up so that there was just the red and the yellow. And so now what we're going to do, we're going to go to Path, Trace Bitmap. We're going to keep the Trace Bitmap here, multiple scans, colors, and I knocked the number of scans down to 3. Now I don't know exactly what the right choice should be, but 3 worked for my case here. Now also do remove background, because I don't want the yellow, I just want the red. So I could have removed the background when I touched up the photograph, but I decided not to because it's easier to do it here. Now this has to be selected for this to work. So you hit update. If you hit update and nothing happens, it's more than likely that you haven't selected your image. Then you hit apply. Now it did something, it's just not obvious. So drag your original image off to the side. And in fact you can delete it. I don't need it. I just need the scan here. So you notice that it went around this complex image quickly, but it also did this little piece right here, which we'll get rid of in the next step. We're going to save as an SVG. So now this is now an SVG file which we're going to bring into the Cricut Design Space. Okay, so now the next step is to go into the Cricut Design Space software and bring in that SVG file. So I'm going to do a new project. So I've got a blank canvas, and I'm going to upload that SVG file that we just created in using Inkscape. So we're going to upload. As you can tell, I've already done this twice now, but this one here is the one that we just did. So I'm going to add it to the canvas. Now something you can almost see it in the SVG file, but you'll notice that there's 2 cuts here. There's the red, and then there's this other boundary around it. I'm not quite sure how that got in there, but either way, let's hide both of those. So if I show this guy, I really don't want that, because that's kind of like an edge that goes around it. Now if the artwork has that edge, you might want to keep it. But I'm not gonna keep that, so I'm going to cut that out. Now I'm left with this, which is the horse itself. Now I need to reduce its size for what I'm doing. See, that's what I meant by don't worry about the size in the Inkscape, because in the Cricut you can make it the size you want. Inkscape did the hard work of doing the tracing, and then it created the SVG. So now you go to make it. And then you have to pick your material. So all of this is pretty much all the same processes if you're going to cut anything else. So I'm not going to show that on the video, but this is how I took a photograph, traced it with Inkscape, and then brought it into the Cricut to get it cut. I just needed to size it using the Cricut software. Talk to you later. Bye.